Okay, so hey Charles. So everyone who's watching and tagging along, my name is Annie O'Sullivan with the Premier Home Experts of 54 Realty. And this is actually a fun one because this is someone I have the opportunity and it's actually a blessing to work with, who's on the line with me too, the video. That's Charles. I'll let him introduce himself and what he does because it's not what you would expect in real estate. So Charles, introduce yourself. Who are you?
Well, hey, Annie, thank you. Hello, everybody. I'm Charles Visalli from Time for Wine. We're a small family-owned business that's been doing wine tastings and corporate events and bringing the pleasure of fun to people's homes because at this time with quarantine, it's been an essential business. And we're happy to say we are an essential business, Annie.
Yeah, I gotta say, I've indulged and had quite a few different cups, maybe bottles myself. So I agree with that sentiment. Okay, so like, how long have you been doing this, really, with everything?
Well, we got involved in the business. I've loved wine for the last 25 to 30 years. And in a former career, dibbled and dabbled and just wanted to learn about wine. And it was in 2003 that we actually got into this wine business. So for the last 17 years, we've fine-tuned our craft. We've attended classes. We've gotten certification. And we've really broadened our scope of what wine tasting is all about. Most people think you just get a bottle, pop it open, and just drink. And for the average consumer, that's normally how it's done. For us, we tell people it's truly a teaching and tasting experience. When we are welcomed into someone's home and we share a bottle of wine, it's about the backstory, where the winemaker came from, where the grapes are grown, the aromas, the bouquets. And as I have my little glass of wine here,
Got started before me.
what are we tasting? What is it all about? It's more than just a Merlot, a Chardonnay, or a Cabernet. And that's what our company really has the passion for, to helping other people learn about wines.
Oh, that's fantastic. And I got to say, it wasn't until I actually met you through a friend of ours that I even knew that this was like a thing that happened and existed in the world. I mean, I've heard of wine tastings, things like that, but it was always, I don't know, I just always had that perception that this is something, it was always very formal. I'd even use the word stuffy, where it just seemed very pretentious and you had to go to these places and event type of things. So when I met you and you were, I mean, first off, you're a pleasure to hang out with and talk with, and you're just so approachable and you're like, hey, this is what wine is. And I have fun doing it and I love what I do. And I'm like, oh, okay. And yeah, like you've just opened up my eyes to this and the world of it. And something interesting that you kind of brought up now, like, with everything happening, like you've done lots of corporate events, but you've also done a lot of like personal wine tastings where it was like parties and stuff like that. So how has just this whole shakedown really with coronavirus really affected your industry and your business?
It's affected everybody. We had to just sit back and rethink our business plan.
Yeah.
No one was prepared for anything like that. And you're absolutely right. 70% of our business model is interacting with people in small groups and in many times large groups, like corporate events and clubhouses. So this Zoom platform, the technology you and I are using right now, became the rebirth for Time for Wine in doing virtual wine tastings. I said, listen, people are still going to want to drink. They're still going to have a home delivery where it's safe to bring it right to your house. Why not? So that's one of the pieces we started putting together. And then reaching out to some of our other corporate clients or other real estate friends who said, hey, we need gift baskets, or we need some other things to be done. We still have the framework to do that without touching you, without touching the client. Everything's done in our warehouse, gloves, mask. I mean, we took this very seriously, as everybody has done. But with the understanding, there's still a need for us to be involved and bring some pleasure and our passion right to your home.
I gotta say, I mean, you kind of hit the nail on the head with that. Like, I love so much about that, how you guys adapted, you changed. You didn't just sit back and be like, oh, woe's us, or well, that's it, call it a day, throw in the towel. No, it was just the fact that you saw this, you saw that there was still the need, you just had to adapt to it. So
Yes.
I love that. Actually, if you don't mind, we will actually do another video and we'll go into more detail just about how the whole virtual wine tasting like prospect and aspect is, because I think that's been great. And didn't that take off for you too?
It has. Soon after I understood the platform, what was involved, we started putting the pieces together.
Mm-hmm.
And we worked with people that knew us, and we wanted to keep it intimate. A
Yeah.
wine tasting, just as you described, doesn't have to be stuffy, doesn't have to be so or ornate. You can be as casual in your backyard with a group of friends and just allow us to bring the wines and teach you and educate you and sniff and swirl and just have some fun as we pop corks for your entertainment.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Charles, for, just being here, kind of explaining it and seeing how like you're still making a living, you're still having fun, like nothing can get you down. So you want to say your company name again in case anyone has questions and how they reach out to you?
Absolutely. It's simply time for wine, timeforwine.net. They can call us at 813-664-1430. Cheers. That's how we do it.
Yes, cheers. Thanks, guys.
Annie's been great. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, Charles.